Random USB drives in the mail belong in the pail, not your laptop.
Hey, George, I understand you're looking into a scam that uses bad USB thumb drives and some sort of gift card.
Yeah, John. So this particular story is pretty interesting, and it gets a little funny at the end with another method that they're using. So recently, a health services company received in the mail an actual $50 gift card from Best Buy with a USB stick, and a really kind of an odd-looking one, not like a name brand one at all, but in an envelope along with that, gift card. And it was a little letter that had a Best Buy kind of like header on the paper, and it said, hey, you just won a $50 gift card based on your previous shopping history. If you plug this USB stick into your laptop, you will be given a list of products that you'll be able to order with that gift card. So thank you, blah blah, with the fake signature. So essentially what's happening is, this specific type of attack, I guess we call it, was seen about 2 years ago. The FBI had a few of these that they were being tipped off on, that random gift cards were being sent with USB sticks, and people's machines were getting infected. And it looks like the driving force of the infection here is when you plug the USB stick in, the microcontroller, it's an Arduino-based controller. It's set up in a way that it's being recognized as a keyboard. So when you plug it in, your machine is not going to block it because your machine accepts keyboards naturally. I mean, it's just something that PCs are ready to take on. So it's seen as a keyboard, and from that point, it launches a small little obfuscated PowerShell script. And what this particular write-up showed on it, I mean, they broke it down all the way down to the fact that they use obfuscation with a substitution cipher, which they were pretty quick at deobfuscating, and then it downloads a secondary stage payload via some URL that's probably some random compromised website, and then pulls down another set of PowerShell directions, another PowerShell script that's slightly obfuscated or encoded. And in that case, that will bring down a JavaScript. It puts it into a text file, and then this text file begins communication with a C2. And then it gets its instructions for its next, whatever the next command is. In this case, the first level of communication with the C2 was just grabbing machine data. So it was username, host name, what the system privilege was for that user, and various system information that it's probably going to use and store for whatever instructions it's going to have for it in the future, and to see if there's anything that any vulnerability that it can take advantage of. It does also look for a list of running processes, the version of Office you have, the release of Adobe that you may have, and whether or not it's running in a virtualized environment. So it gathers all this data, and I think for this sample, this is where they stopped the investigation. But that specific payload runs in an infinite loop, and it sleeps for 2 minutes in each loop, and then it goes back to the C2 with another set of instructions, and I guess it's told what to do from the command and control. So right now, that's pretty much how the malware works. They've recently only seen it at one specific healthcare provider, and that specific user was smart enough not to plug the drive in to their laptop. But they expect to see more of these. And I have seen in some other research I did that they've actually used teddy bears as well. So they'll put a nice teddy bear in a box, say this is our gift from whatever store is sending it. Please plug this USB drive in. We also have other gifts for you. And people have been compromised by that specific teddy bear. But so far, from what I've read, this gift card thing, this was the only one in the recent couple of days, I would say about a week. So it's interesting how they're now trying a different route, right? So everybody's so vigilant in email, or actually not really, especially from the story you just gave. But they're trying to get people with snail mail and free stuff, which everybody likes free stuff. And
Sure.
something I skipped on brief, when I started the story was the actual USB drive. How I said it wasn't a name brand drive. It's a pretty weird looking drive, and the name of the actual drive has its own name called Bad USB, Leonardo USB. And you can buy this drive on Banggood, Amazon, AliExpress for $6-7. And this thing is like ready to go. You just drop whatever instructions you want on there. And the reviews are hilarious because people are like, this is the easiest way to spread malware. This thing is like ready to go for $7. It's like you buy it, throw it in the mail. So it's a pretty interesting place to be. I don't think you guys have any insight on this or seen this before.
Yeah, I guess for me, I think it just does not sound plausible to me that a company that's mainly out there selling, a retailer selling technology, would send a USB via snail mail with a physical gift card. I mean, why wouldn't they just send that, credit my account with that gift card, and send me an email with that information? It just doesn't sound plausible to me. The teddy bear, I could see, depending on, who the target is, I think that probably has more success, which it seems like you were indicating.
Well, one of the other things I noticed, they had like a recent update on this article as well that said that it looks like it might have some overlap with Fin7, which is a group that targets a lot of hotels, the hospitality chains. So, I guess in my mind, I could see maybe, someone at the front desk who gets the mail for a hotel chain and whatnot. They might think, oh, well, we do, a lot of business with Best Buy. We buy a lot of stuff from them, maybe. And it's such an unusual kind of way. You're not thinking like, oh my God, this is bad. It's not the normal way of like, I get a spam email or other typical ways that people try to trick you. So in that sense, I could see they might have some, success with this tactic because it's unusual enough that you don't see it every day. You know what I mean?
Right. I guess we're so inundated with the fraud and scams that come through email and other electronic sources that we've now forgotten that, these things happen physically as well. Or that they, previously that was the main source, but now that's kind of no longer the avenue where it seems like maybe people will be not expecting it anymore.
And it involves quite a bit of work from the actor, right? I mean, it's not as easy as just running a script, right? You actually have to physically have someone put something in a package, mail it out. So I can see the targeting, like John said, like the specific organizations or businesses where it would make sense, where they'll be like, oh yeah, somebody went through all of this trouble to put this drive in here with an actual gift card. It's got to be fine. I'll give it a shot. It's not my computer, probably, right? I mean.
Right. The other thing that I thought was interesting about this that a lot of people might not be aware of is that, when people see a thumb drive, most people probably assume, it's going to be some sort of, disk device. And if I plug it into my computer, I already know that I have auto run not turned on. I have a lot of other security things on there. I'm going to be really careful, and I'm not going to open a file folder and actually run or open any documents. I just want to see what's on here. So a lot of people might think that they know better, but in reality, this thing doesn't act like a hard drive at all. When you plug it in, even though it's in a form factor of a hard drive, like a thumb drive, when you plug it in, it acts like a keyboard, and it's going to open a command prompt and start typing commands in on your computer. So it's like something there is no like automatic protection for that right now. So if you stick this thing in, it's going to do whatever, assuming Windows, it's going to try to do that to your machine. So, don't think you know better that you're going to build. And obviously the guys who did this, they do know a little bit even better because they air gapped it and they did a lot of things when they're analyzing this themselves. So it's a really good write-up in that perspective of how to safely go about analyzing a piece of hardware like this, because this is tricky kind of piece of hardware. It's not like what you would expect to see, kind of a Trojan horse kind of disguise that is packaged in.
Yeah, and the writers actually went out of their way, and on the secondary payload, from what the article is saying, they actually showing a fake message box that pops up on your screen that says, oh, the last USB device that you connected to this machine malfunctioned and Windows does not recognize it. So most people would be like, oh, all right, I guess it just does. I tried it, I guess it doesn't work. I'll just get rid of it or unplug it, you know?
And I'm guessing that they're expecting someone that's not, in the security field to open up this packet, this envelope and all that. So it wouldn't be as aware to not open up and, to stick these drives into our machines and stuff like that.